It's no secret that Elvis Presley, the undisputed king of rock and roll, loved bling. Everything from gold rings and necklaces to fine wristwatches. If it was innovative, glamorous, or extravagant, chances were good that it would end up in Elvis's vast jewelry collection. As we celebrate what would have been the king's 89th birthday this year, we wanted to take a look back at some of the megastar's more beloved timepieces. Elvis's favorites ranged from the conservative to the extraordinarily glitzy, but he wasn't a collector in the traditional sense. He valued the artistry of his watches more than their functionality. Also, unlike many of today's enthusiasts, the king didn't have trouble parting with his favorites when he crossed paths with a fellow watch lover. He was so generous, said Linda Thompson in a 2015 interview with The Hollywood Reporter. If someone said, "Hey, I love that watch," Elvis would likely take it off and give it to the person. He was also well known for giving watches away as gifts to close friends and associates. Thompson was Presley's girlfriend from 1972 to 1976. In fact, it was one of Presley's watches that facilitated their initial encounter. The first time I met him at the Memphian Theater, Thompson said, he used the diamond-encrusted watch he was wearing to start a conversation with me. It was a great icebreaker. Our Swiss-trained watch repair team enjoys every opportunity to work on high-quality vintage timepieces, especially those with larger-than-life historical figures like Elvis Presley attached to them. So, in 2020, when a vintage watch with the inscription "King" on the back came into our repair shop, we were thrilled and honored to take care of it. As it turned out, the caliber 1974 10K gold Bulova AccuQuartz was originally a Christmas present from Elvis to his former bodyguard and wardrobe manager, Richard Davis. Davis was a member of the rock star's Memphis Mafia, his trusted group of friends who protected and served him. The AccuQuartz wasn't the only watch Elvis would gift to his longtime friend, but more about that later. While this is the only Elvis-owned watch we've ever had the pleasure of working on, we imagine there are others out there. Elvis's propensity for gifting and trading his timepieces was legendary. Now, let's dive into the brands that he admired the most. The Hamilton Ventura. Also known as the Elvis watch, the triangle-shaped Ventura captivated the king after returning from his army service in 1960. It was the world's first electric, battery-powered watch, setting the stage for the quartz revolution that would begin a short time later in the 1970s. It's easy to see how Elvis, himself an innovator, quickly fell in love with the cutting-edge timepiece. Elvis wore his Hamilton while filming the movie Blue Hawaii in 1961 as a product placement, and, as a result, his popularity soared. It soon became impossible to separate the Hamilton Ventura from its biggest fan, hence the moniker Elvis watch. Hamilton continues to produce the Ventura in several colors and designs, specifically releasing the Elvis 80 automatic for the King's 80th birthday in 2015. And the commemorative Ventura S Quartz in 2022 for his 87th birthday. Elvis began his rise to fame sporting a pink gold capped Omega Constellation with a black dial. At the time, capping represented an oft-used industry technique of covering a stainless steel case with a solid gold shell. It was significantly cheaper than producing an entire watch made of the precious material, but still created the luxurious look and feel of a solid gold timepiece. In addition to being incredibly stylish, the Constellation was well regarded for its precise, chrono-certified 504 caliber automatic movement. This watch was Presley's constant companion during his service in Germany as a soldier for the US Army from 1958 to 1960. Later, Elvis gifted the Omega to Charlie Hodge, his best friend and army buddy, who lived with him in Graceland until Presley passed away in 1977. Hodge kept the watch until he died in 2006, after which his family sold it through auction for $52,500 in 2012. In 1961, Radio Corporation of America Records gave Elvis an iconic timepiece, a collaborative Omega and Tiffany mechanical in an 18-karat white gold case and a white face with a running second subdial at the 6 o'clock position. To top it off, the face is surrounded by a bezel of 44 brilliant cut diamonds. The gift celebrated Elvis's unprecedented feat of selling 75 million records and carried a custom inscription of the date he reached that milestone, December 25, 1960. Several photos show him wearing the watch up until he traded it. A man reportedly came up to Elvis and said he admired his Omega. The gentleman in question happened to be wearing a diamond-studded Hamilton, so Elvis asked to trade watches right then and there. In 2018, long after the king had passed into history, the Omega owner's nephew put the extraordinary timepiece up for auction. After an intense bidding war, the Swiss watchmaker Omega walked away with the winning bid of $1.5 million. Today, you'll find the watch displayed at the Omega Museum in Bienne, Switzerland. Nothing says rockstar royalty quite like the 18-karat gold Rolex King Midas. Its asymmetrical watch case integrated into the bracelet doesn't look like any Rolex you have ever seen. The luxury watch titan tapped renowned Swiss watchmaker and artist Gerald Genta to design the unique timepiece and only produced 1,000. Elvis owned number 343. Officers of the Houston Astrodome Livestock Show and Rodeo gifted the watch to Elvis in 1970 as a token of their appreciation for performing 6 sold-out concerts in 6 days. This bold watch perfectly matched Elvis's flamboyant outfits on stage and also catered to his luxurious taste in jewelry. The watch remains at the Graceland Mansion for all to see. Elvis liked things that pushed the envelope and broke through conventional wisdom. That's what his music was all about. Like the king, the Corum Buckingham was a revolutionary timepiece with oversized proportions and a solid gold square face. This watch was elegant, opulent, and singular in every way. Presley loved wearing it, but historians say Presley took it off one day and handed it to his aforementioned bodyguard, Richard Davis. He indicated something was wrong with the back and asked Davis to take a look. His friend was surprised and touched to find the inscription, "To Richard" from EP. The timepiece stayed with Davis's family until it was auctioned off in 2016, after which its whereabouts are unknown. Other notable timepieces worn by Presley include the battery-powered Bulova Accutron 521 and Accutron Astronaut, an extravagant hammered gold and diamond encrusted Swiss Ebel, and the adventurous Rolex Submariner Big Crown, reference 6538. There was no doubt about it. Elvis adored his watches as much as his music and was always excited to share both with the world.